With access to quality education, healthcare, livelihood training, and development programs, women are lifting themselves out of poverty. The dignity of work provides healing and newfound self-belief. We are strengthening economic mobility. Since its inception in 2015, the UNFCU Foundation has funded over 70 grants benefiting 31,500 women, children, and youth around the world. We work in partnership to advance the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which seek to end poverty, reduce inequality, and promote well-being and economic growth. We draw inspiration from the strength of women and youth overcoming incredible odds, especially throughout these challenging times.
Hello, and welcome everyone to the UNFCU Foundation panel discussion on empowering women and girls to close the digital divide. We are joining you and our partners live from Kampala, Uganda, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Nairobi, Kenya, and here in New York to share the stage virtually as we mark the UN 67th Commission on the Status of Women, otherwise known as CSW. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Ema Gordon, and I serve as the Executive Director of the UNFCU Foundation, and I'm delighted to be your moderator today for our discussion. As mentioned in our opening video, UNFCU Foundation is dedicated to sustaining the path out of poverty for women and youth. We do this by supporting access to quality healthcare, education, and livelihood training programs that have a transformational impact on women, on their families, and on their communities. And guiding our every action are the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs, which, as we know, seek to reduce inequalities, to end poverty, and to create decent work and economic growth, among other critical global endeavors. To this end, it is our great pleasure to once again contribute to the CSW conversation as we do each year. And I really want to thank the event organizers, UN Women, for their focus this year on such a critical issue on increasing digital literacy as we work to close the digital divide. As a catalyst for women's empowerment, equipping girls and young women with digital skills, we know create opportunities. And with access to e-learning programs, young women can gain the entrepreneurial tools that they need to invest in future economic agency. This has a ripple effect on creating financial stability, on good health and well-being, and overall, we know that this helps to create more sustainable cities and communities globally. Considering the impacts of the global pandemic, we also know that digital literacy is now more than ever a game changer for accessing quality jobs. And this is a global issue. We know that equality in the 21st century workplace also has a long way to go. According to the UN, more than 90% of jobs worldwide have a digital component. That's what we've been working for. Yet, gender inequality in the physical world continues to unfortunately be replicated in the digital world. And as some of you may have heard last week, UN labor experts announced that conditions for women, their access to good paying jobs, and the pay gap itself have unfortunately shown very little progress in a generation. And globally, it is reported that for every dollar of labor earned by men, women continue to earn only 51 cents. Again, globally. This is unacceptable, and it is a vulnerability that the UNFCU Foundation, our partners, and I'm sure each of you are working to dramatically change. We know that when we invest in the education for girls, that it translates into higher digital adoption rates across the board, higher levels of confidence, and that it really creates generational change. Thankfully, we're making inroads through effective partnerships and a growing commitment to tech innovation that do not leave women and girls behind. That is exciting. For us at the UNFCU Foundation, this remains a critical strategy. It is why we do the work that we do. We believe in supporting programs across our portfolio, including those from whom you'll hear today, from US to Kenya to Guatemala to Uganda, Senegal now. We're so excited about that. We work with organizations that daily provide critical skills and essential tools for employability and career advancement. And looking forward, according to UN Women, by 2050, 75% of jobs will be related to STEM areas. Unfortunately, today, women just hold 22% of positions in artificial intelligence or AI, which we know is growing. In our discussion today, we've asked our partners to describe the ways in which their programs keep women at the center of short and long-term strategies for digital learning. Women are landing jobs in the digital economy and maintaining their skills in a rapidly evolving field. But when does the learning begin for this process? And how is it becoming a game changer in response to today's pressing issues like human rights and climate change mitigation? Again, critical issues. And for our partners, based on their extensive work in global communities, our speakers will share their views on the digital revolution for women and girls by answering these thought-provoking questions. We invite you to use the Zoom platform and the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to put in any questions that come up for you. And now on to our great panel. So joining us are 3 UNFCU Foundation partners I'm so excited to introduce to you. Starting with Building Tomorrow, a locally led social impact organization ensuring children in rural Uganda can access foundational learning opportunities. Refugee, a nonprofit which has a mission to protect, educate, and empower orphaned, unaccompanied, and separated refugee girls and young women. And the International Telecommunications Union, also known as ITU, which is a specialized UN agency for information and communication technologies with a global membership. Today, we'll focus on 2 of their exciting initiatives, African Girls Can Code and Generation Connect. Each of our partners have designed programs and mentorships to enable women and girls to fully participate in digital life, and in this way, lift themselves and their families out of poverty. Today, we are excited to share stories of hope. In this spirit, I'm just delighted to welcome our expert panel, who after introducing themselves will provide a brief description of their respective programs, and will then segue to a panel discussion. And at the close of our conversation, we'll welcome Pamela Ignon, the chair of the UNFCU Foundation, to recap key points and offer her insights. So let's get started. First, joining us from Building Tomorrow, a nonprofit in Kampala, Uganda, is Innocent Akampura Rira, learning coordinator of the Monitoring, Evaluation, and Learning team. Innocent is also a former Building Tomorrow fellow, working directly with young students to gain some context on Building Tomorrow. Let's watch this video.
Hello student, welcome to Building Tomorrow Roots to Rise Ewaka. I hope you are ready to learn. Do you have time to participate in the lesson? If you can participate, press the number 1 on the phone. Good job. Let us sing a song together. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. That was fun. Now we can start our lesson. Today we are going to learn how to add by playing a game called Me and More. In the game Me and More, we make goat sounds, cow sounds. Let's make a goat sound together. Good job. Now let's make a cow sound together. Good. In the game, each cow sound counts as 10. Each goat sound counts as 1. Let's play the game to practice how to add. You can do this. What is plus press the number on the phone. Correct. Thank you for participating in today's lesson. You did great. I am excited for our next lesson. You will be hearing from Building Tomorrow Roots to Rise Ewaka very soon.
right. Oh, Innocent, it's so terrific to have you here. Welcome. We are so impressed with the interactive voice response technology used by Building Tomorrow. Tell us more about Building Tomorrow's pioneering distance learning tool called Iwaka.
Hey, thank you, Ima. Once again, I'm called Innocent Cambrera, and I serve as the learning coordinator with Building Tomorrow. Building Tomorrow is a locally based nonprofit organization working to promote literacy and numeracy in Uganda. Like mentioned earlier, I have previously served as a fellow and basically worked to coordinate community volunteers to promote quality and inclusive education for children in rural Uganda. The video you just watched is about our innovative distance learning tool, Iwaka. Iwaka directly translates to at home in Luganda, a commonly spoken language here in Uganda. Iwaka delivers foundational numeracy lessons to learners by using only interactive voice response technology on basic phones or 2G phones. Iwaka is groundbreaking because it can be used in low-income settings or rural settings where already high-tech innovations are not practical or are far away from being feasible. And thus, this is an important breakthrough for the field of education. Iwaka also stands out because it allows two-way participation for learners, and two-way participation is essential for interactive learning, which in turn yields better learning outcomes for children. Iwaka is also automated and can be accessed on demand, and therefore children are able to learn at their own pace and when they're ready to learn and receive a given lesson. All these aspects make Iwaka an ideal supplementary tool and ideal also for remedial learning, particularly in areas where there's already low internet connections or low resources. Iwaka was developed in response to the COVID-19 pandemic that led to school closures for over 2 years in Uganda. And in 2021 alone, we were able to reach over 28,000 learners. Over 28,000 learners, more than half of these being girls, at 52%. And also by it being available on demand, Iwaka is transforming education for children who are already affected by various disruptions in education. More interestingly, Iwaka's accessibility ensures that even girls who already can't read are able to learn. And this presents a significant step towards gender equity in education. And also, lastly, Iwaka is helping many girls out there overcome some of the cultural and social barriers that have traditionally hindered girls from accessing a quality education. Thank you, Ima.
Thank you so much, Innocent. That sounds incredible, and we can't wait to hear more about Iwaka and Building Tomorrow's work. So now we'll travel north to Ethiopia, where we will meet Christine Sund, who is the Senior Advisor for Regional Officer for Africa with the International Telecommunications Union, and Saba Bien, the ITU Generation Connect Youth Envoy in Addis Ababa. We're excited to have Christine share exciting news about ITU's African Girls Can Code initiative, and then she will pass the virtual baton over to Saba, her mentee from ITU Generation Connect, for who we also are thrilled to have participate. Over to you both. Please tell us more about your roles and a quick overview on ITU's digital literacy and more on this photo.
Thank you very much, Ima. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be located, connecting to this session. So indeed, greetings from ITU's Regional Office for Africa in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And my name is Christine Sund, and I support digital development and inclusion projects and initiatives across the region. Yes, indeed. With regards to the image you just saw on the screen, the photo was taken during the recent ITU Plenipotentiary Conference in Bucharest, Romania. You can see here Generation Connect youth envoys from across the globe with the recently elected ITU Secretary General, Doreen Bogdan-Martin, who is really a role model for us all. And as I continue, would like to say a big thank you to the UNFCU Foundation for inviting ITU to celebrate this year's Commission on the Status of Women on the theme of innovation and technological change and education in the digital age through this webinar. It's really a true pleasure for us to be present. ITU's work on extending meaningful connectivity is grounded in the conviction that bridging the digital divide encompasses not only bringing access to people who remain offline, but ensuring meaningful connectivity for those who are currently not able to reap the benefits of the digital economy and society. If young women and girls can't afford devices or do not have access to the 3G or 4G networks, which is really the case in most women in least developed countries, as an example, how can we then expect them to know how to use that technology? The fact of the matter is that even basic digital skills training has the power to change lives, and that the majority of future jobs, as was mentioned by Ima earlier, really will require such skills. But that girls and young women are still much more likely to lack those skills than their male counterparts. Saba and I are coming from you, as I mentioned, from the ITU Regional Office for Africa. And we wanted to share some of the initiatives that we are leading and involved in with our colleagues and with partners across the African continent. One such initiative is the African Girls Can Code initiative. It's an initiative that aims to empower girls and young women by providing tangible programs and training opportunities to increase access to technology for girls and young women to bridge that digital gender divide. As such, the African Girls Can Code initiative also provides girls and young women with pathways to contribute and participate in substantial ways to innovation and digital transformation in Africa through access to education and employment opportunities. The initiative involves the delivery of coding camps to girls, mainly in high school, but also inciting younger ones to explore, to equip them with both technical and soft skills. We also work with policymakers, notably the Ministries of Education and ICT, to mainstream the use of information and communication technologies, coding, and gender perspectives into the national curricula. And then through media and outreach campaigns, the initiative engages women role models in ICT, local tech stakeholders, and young entrepreneurs to share their experiences and inspire young girls and young women to pursue careers in tech and actively engage in and contribute to their respective local digital ecosystems. For African Girls Can Code, ITU has over the past years been joining forces with other UN agencies, governments, regional partners, private companies, as well as the UNFCU Foundation, which we're very excited about, to expand the initiative to more countries across the continent. So do please join us. I'm now handing over to Saba, a youth envoy with the ITU Generation Connect initiative. Saba, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Christine. Greetings, everyone. As from the introduction, my name is Saba. I work as a junior project intern at the ITU Regional Office in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And also I am an ITU Generation Connect youth envoy, where I share my interest, concern, as well as perspectives on digital transformation and discuss opportunities and challenges related to digital technologies. A Generation Connect is an initiative of the ITU which aims to engage global youth and encourage their participation as equal partners alongside the leaders of today's digital change, empowering them with the skills and opportunities to advance their vision of a connected future. Moreover, it aims to bring together young people, industry leaders, and policymakers to collaborate and share ideas on how to harness the power of digital technologies for social and also economic development. The youth groups of the ITU Generation Connect consists of young people, including girls, young women all around the world who are passionate about digital technologies and their potential to create a positive change in their society. These groups provide a platform for them to exchange ideas, develop digital skills, and also engage in advocacy and policy-making processes. They use Invoice, participate in online discussions, workshops, and events, and also have the opportunity to contribute to the development of policy recommendations for the ITU as well as for other international organizations. So currently we do have 6 youth groups globally, such as Generation Connect Africa Youth Group, Europe Youth Group, America Youth Group, Arab Youth Group, Asia Pacific Youth Group, Commonwealth of Independent State Youth Groups, and so on. So this provides a platform for young people to network with industry leaders and to showcase their digital projects and innovations. Thank you, and now we will go back over to you, Emma.
Thank you so much, Saba. Thank you so much, Christine. We really appreciate that detailed introduction and very inspirational and very comprehensive approach to closing the digital divide. And now I would like to welcome our partner refugee from Nairobi, Kenya. We'd like you to meet Stephanie Kabara, who's the Digital Education and Innovation Manager at Refugee. Welcome, Stephanie. It's so exciting to see you. We look forward to learning more about She Learns, the digital learning and wellness platform that Refugee uses to help women build skills and to develop entrepreneurial tools, etc. So welcome, and we're happy to see you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Emma, for the introduction. My name is Stephanie Kibara, and I'm the Digital Education and Innovations Manager at Refugee, an organization that is based in Nairobi, Kenya, as mentioned, that works to protect, educate, and empower orphaned, unaccompanied, and separated refugees, women, and to build healthier and more resilient futures for themselves and their children. Today, there are more than 100 million forcibly displaced people around the world, which is more than any other time in modern history. So in Kenya alone, there are more than 568,000 refugees, and approximately 90,000 of them reside in urban areas. And our focus as Refugee is on these urban communities. We offer a suite of holistic services to the refugee girls and the young women in Nairobi, including access to digital skills through our in-campus ICT program, as well as customized skill building video content and digital tutorials led by refugee entrepreneurs through our platform, She Learns. In 2020, Refugee was forced to adapt to the challenges brought by the global pandemic, that is COVID-19, just like anyone else. And by that, we moved to a more digital-friendly service model. The success of that virtual learning prompted us to seek broader digital solutions that could help more urban refugee women learn and improve their quality of life. Today, She Learns is helping refugee women in Nairobi develop the entrepreneurial and wellness toolkit they need to invest their talents and create financial stability for themselves and their families. The curriculum is divided into 3. So we have a simple, very, very simple curriculum that is divided into 3. That is, it includes business education, vocational skills, and mental health. The content is made up of a series of mobile-friendly micro-learning videos curated to meet the needs of young refugee mothers and business owners who have low to no digital literacy skills. Financial instability actually was among the biggest challenges that we found in the refugee community members. That was what was shared with the refugee team. And through that, we have done a series of testing phases that has informed the product that we created. The goal for She Learns is to provide urban refugees with practical skills they can use to upstart their entrepreneurial futures and better their mental health. And we are excited to be part of the digital learning and earning opportunity for urban refugees around the world, and look forward to sharing more about the success of our program and the impact it has already had so far on the lives of urban refugee women in Kenya during the discussion. Thank you so much for hosting us.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, and thank you to all of our partners. We're so excited to hear more, and I hope that you're excited as we are now that you've heard those incredible introductions. So now let's just get started. I would invite all of our expert panelists back onto the stage to join me. And we are going to start with a really important question. So panelists, how do we ensure that women and girls remain at the center of digital literacy programs? Innocent, we'll start with you, and then we'll ask also Christine to weigh in. Innocent, I think you're on mute. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you once again, Ima. At Building Tomorrow, our CEV network or our fellowship team is who are majorly the implementers. It's mostly female-led. 60% of our fellows must be young women. And this approach is meant for us to be more gender responsive and more gender sensitive in the work we do out there. In that, we end up having girls out there inspired. So when the fellows are out there, they're doing things that these young girls or these marginalized young girls see, and they're able to hope for a better future and stay in school so that they could become like one of the fellows or one of the CVs we work with. So that's how we ensure that girls are at the center of our work, and especially our literacy programs. Thank you, Ima.
Thank you. Christine?
Thank you, Ima. And just to add to what Innocent was saying there, we look at the core of digital transformation. It is really important that the right policies are put in place, digital policies that also include a gender dimension and are grounded in gender disaggregated data and research. So to answer your question there, Ima, gender sensitive policies are a must to drive inclusive digital transformation and really ensure that our programs, project initiatives have impact and are empowering women and girls. When we talk to governments, we also emphasize how important it is that governments include women in the consultative process and ensure that policy-making decisions prioritize their needs. One of the main challenges that we are seeing is that there's a lack of such informed policies. ITU recent research shows that by the end of 2022, only 94 countries had adopted national digital agendas. And of those 94, just a mere 21 of them had a specific focus on women and girls. And moreover, when considering the data we use to get backing for our digital inclusion initiatives, development projects, and our other interventions, there is really a critical gap in terms of that the gender disaggregated data that I mentioned to ensure that we have to be able to measure meaningfully the gender digital gap and guide the intervention. So my call would be really that we work together to address data gaps to ensure that the real situation for our women and girls are brought to the fore. Over to you, Ima.
Thank you so much. No, those are critical strategies, and we appreciate how comprehensive those suggestions are. And next we wanted to ask about why is it most important at this time and this juncture in our work to have women lead in the digital economy? Sort of what's important about this, what's urgent about this time that we find ourselves in? And if you have any stories that you would share, I open it up to the panel, to whomever wants to answer this in terms of why now should women be leading in this work?
Yes, thank you once again, Ima. So women and girls have continuously shown their ability to adopt and utilize innovations for social good wherever and whenever they have been included. For us, in our instance, as Building Tomorrow, the fellowship and the CEV network mainly considers young women, like I mentioned earlier, and we continue to deliver great impact. In this example, let me share a story about our work, about a CEV that helped bring back a young girl to school that had dropped out due to issues, a situation she was facing in school. So Zerida, she was called Zerida Kantono. Zerida was a bright and passionate 12-year-old, an ordinary 12-year-old who had a dream of becoming a teacher. Unfortunately, her dream was put on hold due to a significant hurdle she faced. Zerida faced challenge of fitting in class, given that she was a 12-year-old. She felt she was older and bigger in size and therefore had body image issues. And she felt like she didn't enjoy school and her peers didn't make her comfortable. And then eventually her grades went down and she dropped out of school. So upon learning of Zerida's story from a CEV, CEV was called Sharifa. Sharifa told us, you know what, we need to go out and meet this young girl and bring her back. Together with Sharifa, we met the parents of the young girl. This wasn't an easy task, but we were able to convince Zerida that she was beautiful enough and it didn't matter her size or her age, she could still finish school and go on to live a fulfilled life. However, we knew there was more work to be done since she had been out of school for over a year. We enrolled Zerida in Building Tomorrow's remedial program, Roots to Rise. That's based on teaching at the right level, and it helps children catch up on learning loss they have experienced. Today, I'm thrilled to share that Zerida has completed primary school and has big dreams ahead of her. She hopes to become a teacher and inspire other girls who might find themselves in the same situation. Zerida's story is a testament to the power of young women driving. It reminds us that we all have the ability to make a difference, big or small. And with over 60% of young women in Building Tomorrow's Fellowship, we are one step closer to keeping girls like Zerida and CEVs like Sharifa. So CEVs being community education volunteers like Sharifa and reminding the girls that their dreams are valid and empowering them to fulfill their dreams and become wonderful citizens of their country. Thank you, Emma. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Innocent. That was a really incredible story. And thank you for sharing about Zerida and all of the important work that goes into it. Just brings to life why this work is so critical, not only in changing her life, but in changing generations. And so thank you for reminding us of the urgency of this work that we are doing. So speaking of young women, Saba, we're so blessed to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell us more about your story in terms of coming to ITU and your leadership role and how that has grown? We're excited to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Emma. My journey to the ITU community started at the university, where my passion to the digital world began to grow. I continued to pursue this passion through my university years, and it was during this time that I discovered an opportunity with ITU to join the Generation Connect Africa Youth Group as a youth envoy. The experience was life-changing for me. I was able to engage with youth from all over the world, exchange ideas, and work together to address critical issues such as gender digital divide, digital skills, online safety, meaningful youth engagement, and many more. So this engagement led me to participate in the Generation Connect Global Youth Summit in Rwanda last year, which provided a platform for young people to have their voices heard and shape the future of the digital world. And another significant turning point of my journey, I can say, was when I participated in the ITU Plenipotentiary Conference in Romania. It was also last year in October. This was a high-level conference that takes place every 4 years. And it was an incredible experience for me to engage with decision makers from around the globe and also meet with my fellow young change makers as well. My passion and commitment to youth engagement led me to an internship at the ITU regional office, where I am gaining valuable experience and insight into the workings of the union. Alongside my other roles now, I am working and leading the Generation Connect youth group in Ethiopia, where I am working to make a significant impact in empowering youths, including girls and young women, to shape the digital world. My journey exemplifies the importance of creating opportunities for youth to engage and participate in shaping the future of the digital world. We know that it's crucial that we provide a platform for young people to have their voices heard and take an active role in addressing those issues in the digital space. So as we continue to navigate the challenges in the digital age, we must recognize a significant role that youth play in shaping the future of digital world. It's through our collective efforts and engagement that we can create a safer, more inclusive, and prosperous digital world. Thank you for allowing me to share my story, Emma, and back over to you.
Thank you so much, Saba. You are such an inspiration, and talk about an ambassador for digital literacy. We really, really appreciate you sharing your story, and also appreciation to ITU for creating this platform for incredible young women like Saba to speak about this journey, to be on this journey. So we really, really appreciate it. Stephanie, over to you. We wanted to hear a little bit more about the She Learns curriculum, if you will, and tell us a little bit more about why the business and vocational skills, business education and vocational skills are really important to the women, the young women whom you serve, and any stories that you'd love to share. We'd love to hear more from you as well.
Thank you, Emma. First, I would want to comment on the what Innocent and Christine said on gender-sensitive policies. The reason why we are even here, especially for us as an organization, is even thinking about the policies that encompass this gender, and especially for us who are dealing with refugees, it's even harder for them because you're in a foreign country, you're not used to the standards of living there, and you have to survive. And that also informs the curriculum actually that we have come up with, which is highly influenced by the experiences that these urban refugees actually face in their day-to-day lives. So initially we were following a government curriculum, but then after some time we modified it to actually fit the situation, because we just thought, we can just translate the curriculum and actually make translate whatever the government has as a curriculum and put it into maybe a digital platform or something. But then after we did a research, as it stands, right now, first of all, as it stands, it's a requirement for a refugee, especially if you don't live in the camps, to actually fend for yourself. So if you're living in an urban area, you are required by the government to actually fend for yourselves. That means they do not care if you have like the level of education to actually survive there. It's either you're in the camp or you have come to an urban area and you can fend for yourself. So with that in mind, we created the business and the vocational courses with the idea to build on the existing technical skills and talent by introducing an entrepreneurial aspect to complement their skills, or alternatively, teaching a new skill altogether and ensuring that the skill resonates with the urban environment in which they find themselves in, so that they are able to actually transition this and earn an income in the shortest possible time. So I can give an example of actually one of our users who is actually using the platform. Her name is Anita. When she first interacted with the She Learns platform, she was a tailor, and because of COVID, again, COVID being COVID, businesses were rendered, people closed their businesses. So she was among the people who actually closed her business based on COVID. And after she came back, because she didn't have a shop at then, she could not really recoup herself from now the what she had been subjected to, because now she had to work from her own house. And now that means people don't know where her shop is located. She's only thinking about people who had her phone number prior to that. So those are the only people who are reaching her. So while it was a very random discovery where we actually just called her for a testing session, and we introduced the platform and told her about the platform. And that way we just told her you can actually use the platform to build on your skills. And so what she has done is through the platform, instead of now trying to look for a shop, so she discovered that she can actually use Instagram to sell the product. So we just taught her the way, how to have an Instagram business account, and actually now even more specifically be able to deliver countrywide her goods in a way that from the comfort of her home, she can actually deliver countrywide without having to worry about location, having to worry about if people have trusted her, because that is incorporated in the curriculum. And additionally, we even give very, very tailored, like our content is actually very tailored to the needs in terms of, even in terms of warehousing. There's a popular trend as in Nairobi where people are given options of warehousing at a very, very cheap price, which allows online business owners to actually have physical presence without breaking the bank, which is very accessible, because for even less than $1, you can actually have a physical presence within the central business district. And this was something that we found out, and this was something that like learners are able to learn from the content that, or the curriculum that we have curated. So to be honest, again, there are many barriers of entry to this, but then what we are saying is we try as much as possible to suit the curriculum to the challenges that they face in a day-to-day life. Yeah.
That's really, really insightful. And I really appreciate the way that technology immediately supported that particular entrepreneur. It sounds as if Refugee, and I'd love you to expand on this, really works to curate the actual services and content of the curriculum to the particular population you serve, i.e. in terms of refugee women and girls. Would you agree with that, and anything you'd want to expand on for that?
Actually, for us, again, initially, what we had not planned to do a skill building platform, but we did a ton of research that also indicated the high trauma in early childhood and adolescence that have like impact on young people's capability to absorb information, concentrate, and demonstrate self-regulation required to do attendance and self-study. So that highly informed even just basically a digital platform. As a result, we prioritize gender responsiveness actually throughout the content development process to create a product that is tailored to, again, empathize with facts on the ground. So in terms of the content, what we have done is it is brief. The video formats are very brief and actually offers solutions for day-to-day challenges that the women and girls face while trying to run their businesses in Nairobi. And then apart from that, how we have phrased the content again is they're straight to the point. So making sure that we maximize on concentration span, and they also fit into their daily schedule seamlessly. So they do not have to like worry about, oh, I have a class to attend that is 1 hour. No, you can just spare 10 minutes and actually be able to actually learn something. And then the content actually itself is delivered by a refugee woman herself. So who's running a micro enterprise where she basically shares how to navigate the business terrain in Nairobi. That way she creates a very applicable solution. So when it's a refugee woman who has gone through the experiences that you have gone through and she tells you this is how I am doing things, it is very, very applicable and easy to learn for the person who's actually accessing it. The other thing is it's accessible in terms of language. So I like to call the language that we use Swanglish, so which is a mixture of Swahili and English, which is popularly spoken in urban areas in Kenya. So it's actually something that most of the refugees, if not a huge percentage of the refugees, can actually understand that language. And last but not least, it is complemented by psychosocial education, which offers a holistic package for them. So apart from the business content and the vocational, the psychosocial education, and also a chance to actually talk to a counselor in case you're going through some events that we cannot offer from the platform. We remain cognizant of the challenges that refugees face in matter of geographical locations and income generation. And therefore we try as much as possible to let this inform the solutions that we are offering. Technology in education is the rise of, and the rise of the economy for me, I feel like it's one of the best things that has ever happened, especially for the refugee community, which allows them to actually, like, you can actually learn and actually maybe probably get a job online and even be able to thrive in uncertainty, which is something that we continue to ensure that we actually help them gain skill sets which actually can transpass through borders and allow them to actually actively participate in economies regardless of where they go or where they land. We are never too sure about where they will be next. So we make sure that at least the skills they're getting and the jobs they're getting are something that is transferable.
Yeah, no, that is truly inspiring. It really does give hope And it also speaks to what everyone has spoken about in terms of including women at the beginning of the design of these programs so that they answer the needs of the particular population and women and girls at every step of the way. So I really, really appreciate how you've described from inception to delivery, the way that the program serves the women in that community. So that's really powerful. So Innocent, I'll turn to you in terms of Uganda. We know that Building Tomorrow has an incredible way of involving community fellows and others. Can you talk to us a little bit about the community approach and why it was important and critical, even in a pre-pandemic way, but now in a post-pandemic way, to really involve the community itself?
Thank you, Emma. So I'll start with the fellowship and then go down to the fellowship became core to Building Tomorrow's model in 2015. And so far, the fellowship has managed to enroll 400 young people, of which 60% of these are young women again. It was the first cohort of fellows that identified the need to include community members, and that's how CVs came to be a huge or a central part of our interventions as Building Tomorrow. To date, we have enrolled over 7,400 CVs, and these have gone on to carry out activities to deal with foundational learning, enrolling children that have dropped out of school, among other things that they do. We've received evidence from a study we did with a Botswana-based organization, and we learned that under 3 hours of tutoring or guidance by our CVs is enough to compensate for a whole year of quality learning. This is phenomenal for us, and it has helped to validate our model that CVs can indeed substitute for teachers in communities and cover up for learning losses experienced for various reasons or others. So CVs were also central to, have also been central to the IWACA platform. CVs did the door-to-door mobilization and awareness and onboarding of children onto the platform. This served to show that communities, education volunteers who are actually members of the community are able to make a difference and lead to development in their community. Thank you.
That's really wonderful. Thank you so much. So Christine, I'm going to turn to you with the few minutes that we have left in this incredible discussion. So we know that communities play a critical role, as Innocent has described, as everyone has described. How are you integrating African Girls Can Code into the communities? And has there been a ripple effect at all?
Yes, thank you, Emma. With really empowering, seeing these girls and empowering girls through the African Girls Can Code initiative has really been an eye-opener for us who has been working on the initiative over the past few years from the beginning. And to the extent that from the first phase of the initiative that went from 2018 to 2021, there was mainly a focus on East African countries. And now through the second phase, that with the support of partners, we've been able to include 11 additional countries across the region. And there's also been a Girls Can Code extension from Africa with exciting activities in the Americas region. So that there is really that kind of excitement around the initiative as a whole. And but I also find really so encouraging is seeing girls who have taken the training also share the lessons that they've learned and what they've learned, the technical and the soft skills, with their sisters and the family members in the communities where they live. So the result of empowering one girl who attends one or several training camps and activities really has that exponential opportunity of increasing digital inclusion in the community from where she comes and beyond, Emma.
That's really fantastic. That's fantastic. I wanted to grab an opportunity to leave the panelists with some thoughts about what's ahead. So if you can tell us a little bit in one word, I'll ask each of you to describe sort of your hope for women's empowerment in one word, and anything you want to describe about what's ahead for you. So with that, Christine, since you've had the floor, would you start for us?
One word I think is difficult, but I would really say my one word would be realize their dreams, so excel. So when women empower themselves, they can realize their dreams, they can excel. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Stephanie?
One word for me would be revolution. Women empowerment is a revolution for us, and we hope that through the work that we are doing and many other partners are doing, we can actually create sustainable communities through empowering the women.
That's fantastic. Saba?
Well, as Christine said, one word cannot express it, but when women empower themselves, they can succeed.
That's fantastic. And Innocent?
I will go with when women empower themselves, they can transform society.
That is fantastic. And does anyone want to share really, really briefly anything that is coming up that they're excited about for 2023 and beyond? Christine or Innocent, anything?
Yes, for 2023, we look forward to, and 2024, we look forward to enrolling the WOCA platform to a much bigger audience. In 2021, we reached 28,000, and we know we can surpass that and give learners a critical education that they need from wherever they are. And being in a rural place doesn't mean you can't access an education. So we look forward to that. We've got a new service provider to cater to the need for scale, because we need bigger numbers, we need to reach as many people. And we look forward to enrolling an updated platform in this spring and reaching those greater heights. Thank you.
That is so fantastic. I am sorry that we didn't have more time to chat. All of you have sort of inspired us. We have incredible stories of resilience, and the incredible work that you're doing has really shown through. So I thank you so much. I wanted to also just allow our chair of the UNFCU Foundation, Pamela Agnon, to provide us with some final thoughts on today's event. And Pam, we will turn it over to you. Thank you, amazing panelists, and we really appreciate you being with us today.
Thanks very much, Ima. Hello, everyone. Such insightful panelists and quite a thought-provoking dialogue. Through today's discussion, we've learned how inequality in education represents a major contributor to the gender digital divide. Even more so today, youth need to be digitally literate to fully participate in life, to be safe online, and to develop critical analytical skills. Including girls' voices is essential when developing digital development programs, which in turn builds women and girls' self-belief and agency. Digital tools are changing dynamics for Nairobi's most marginalized communities, leading to greater social justice and equality, particularly for women refugees and their families. Through SDG number 5, quality education, digital financial inclusion promises to extend financial access through national strategies, such as in Ethiopia, as we've just heard. Major opportunities like data science, robotics, cybersecurity, software, and collaborative platforms represent newfound fields where women can flourish. With Iwaka, youth are supplementing gaps in their education through creative and fun numeracy programs. And I believe we all drew inspiration from the real-life examples presented today of women shaping their future and that of their families. Our collective response to closing the digital divide is vital to our shared pursuit of a sustainable future for all. As we've underlined here, investment in women and girls' digital literacy and financial inclusion change the trajectory of lives for the better. At the UNFCU Foundation, we're privileged to collaborate with incredible grant partners having meaningful impact on the ground. These include educators, tech and policy experts, country teams, and numerous other heroes and sheroes, including mental health care providers. Since its inception in 2015, the UNFCU Foundation has positively impacted over 43,000 women and youth unlocking their potential. We've also partnered with UN organizations UNICEF and the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, on humanitarian relief efforts. Together, with your support, our grants and relief totaled more than $1 million last year. Thank you. It's been a remarkable journey, Since our last CSW event, the Foundation's launched a new website with even more stories from which we can all draw inspiration. In February, we were proud to announce supporting 19 grantee partners in 2023. And you can learn more about this work, our humanitarian support, and upcoming events at unfcufoundation.org. The power of partnerships is central to the UNFCU Foundation's Building a Better World. We look forward to continuing to keeping you informed about the UNFCU Foundation, and we encourage you to follow us online and on social media. As the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said, promoting women's full contribution to science, technology, and innovation is not an act of charity or a favor to women. It's a must that benefits everybody. Together, we will strengthen lives through quality education, overcome gender-based discrimination through full participation in STEM, create more safe spaces, and in this way, celebrate more women leading the way forward in the digital economy. Everyone's voices and actions count in leaving no one behind. On behalf of our board, our advisory council, and our many UNFCU Foundation volunteers, thank you for your solidarity on women's empowerment. We hope to see you again soon. Be well, everyone, and let's celebrate Women's History Month each and every day. Thank you.